All right, bang. Today is Wednesday. It is January 17th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Free Swim Wednesday. I'm joined by Chief, Danny, and Danny Lance as well behind the ones and twos in a very cold studio located on the west side of Chicago.
Yeah, we're basically in Chef Donnie's meat locker here. That's what it feels like. It's freezing.
It's a cold one.
Yeah.
It's a cold one, which I imagine a lot of studios are cold today. There's people.
North America is cold today.
Did you see it was
14 in Dallas.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And I also saw a tweet where like Western North Dakota compared to South Florida was 150 degree difference.
Oh. South Florida just never deal with any shit other than hurricanes.
Yeah.
Right? Like 2-3 hurricanes a year.
It's a big shit though.
It is.
Don't trudge off hurricanes.
I'm not trudging them off, but like it's
Fort
one of those
Myers
things. Would you rather, if you're going to have a property where you had to live somewhere, would you rather roll the dice with a hurricane and property damage, or you're in the Great White North and you're just freezing your ass off for 4 months a year, but you know like your house is going to be fine?
Yeah, I mean we're on the other side of January at least.
Yeah, officially.
That's a positive.
Yeah,
but not the winter.
the days started getting longer. Officially.
I haven't felt that yet though.
They have technically,
and that's I feel
they
like
start on Christmas Day. They start getting longer.
I feel like we're dummies for this as well.
Mm-hmm.
We always refer to March as being like like St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Yeah,
or like as being like the benchmark.
It's the
of
official start of summer.
Yeah, that's according to our very good friend White Sox Dave.
Yeah,
we always equate that to like light at the end of the tunnel. It's also because there's literally more light at the end of your day.
yeah.
Which we like kind of fail to bring up a lot.
Yeah, no,
I know that, but it's like it's also supposed to be the start of spring, and like you're not imagining low 30s for start of spring. I always just said it's the most disappointing month weather-wise.
Yeah, but it is. I just
that whole expression, we've talked about this before too, but it's like in like a lion, out like a lamb. Like March is just fucked. Like March is never good anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No,
It's just gray and disappointing.
Cold.
but at least you get your life
Drizzles.
back. I know you don't like that, but
Having
for
a
the-
life,
yeah.
who needs that?
Yes,
No.
the social activity starts happening.
Yeah,
in
like
March.
Like
you
light.
St. Patrick's Day. Oh,
I'm saying lights,
Yeah,
not life.
sun.
Sorry, do I sound like
they
I said light?
kind
I
of go
said
hand
light.
in hand a little bit though too. Like there's something to be said for the sun going down at 7 when it's tip off for March Madness, and it's not in like you're not getting the boots and the whole thing where like I gotta wait outside. Like
For sure.
end of March Madness, I start to feel pretty good.
Yeah, January, February is like apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of March Madness, speaking of college basketball, if you're looking to get tickets, you should look no further than our friends at Game Time. Obviously, everyone out there has probably had a frustrating ticket experience where your tickets didn't work when you got to the gate. Maybe it wouldn't print. Maybe you got ripped off. That's not going to happen with our friends at Game Time. They're the best for last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals. They're easy to find, easy to buy, and they're covering every event you could possibly think of. Comedians.
Yeah, it's the Procrastinators ticket app. You can get them last minute. That's why we love them. We're not big planners. We're like, you know what, spur of the moment, Cubs game, Bulls game.
Sometimes I plan to go last minute, and then you can do that. That's to me, that's the best. Like, hey, we're going to the game. Where are we sitting? I don't know yet. We gotta wait to see what the deals are on Game Time.
Right.
I bought tickets for the Blackhawks game yesterday for today's game, and it was a steal. It was awesome. I have great seats on Game Time. It was fantastic.
There you go.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
it was great. Yeah, it was
Danny
amazing.
Lance, I'm proud
Wow.
of. That's
Not-
what
Let's
we
go.
need.
Not a paid actor.
Nope.
Real stuff.
Although he has been a paid actor.
And model,
Yeah.
He's just passionate about Game Time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's true. It's facts.
So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DOGWALK for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code DOGWALK for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. I got a couple things. I don't know if you want to start with something. You got something?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I was at an undisclosed location, a bar, and they had multiple restrooms, but they were all multi-gender, all single person too. And I had to take a dump spur of the moment. So I was like, all right, I'm just going in and out. It was like the start of the night. What could go wrong? So I'm in there. I take while I'm waiting in line, a couple, like a guy and two girls are behind me. So I'm like, okay, have to make this quick. Can't make it seem like I just took a dump. I'm in there and it's the automatic flusher and it's just not flushing. I am getting up. I'm getting up. I'm sitting back down. I'm cleaning off the sensor. I'm acting to the toilet as if I've left. I'm like, okay, you could flush now. nothing's working. I think that's a prime example of us relying on technology too
I
much.
feel like the ones that have an automatic flusher usually have like the ripcord, where you're able to like still press a button
Some
to
sort of button.
eject.
No, not even here. You can't do that with our toilets in the office.
I've never taken
Really?
I haven't
Oh.
taken a shit at this office.
Oh, I do it every day.
Well, you have.
But I know that
disease.
coffee hits. I had my first coffee here, then I gotta go. But yeah, instead I don't know if this is better or worse, but I just put a bunch of toilet paper in it, like not clogging it, but hiding the poo. What
do you think they think is under there?
But they don't know for sure. There's always a shadow of doubt they have. It's better than them walking in and seeing a fish out of water, brown snake.
It definitely smelled to some degree too.
It wasn't too bad, and it wasn't a big one either.
Yeah.
By your standards. That's another thing. How do you know what a big shit is? It's all your own bite. How many you looking at? A lot of adult shits in your life?
Single turd, clean. The water wasn't affected. The color wasn't.
If you lose sight of the deep end of the pool, the little cup, then that's a big boy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Wait.
it didn't.
So wait, was it 2 or 3 bathrooms?
There's 2.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe it was a possibility that.
I think this is one of those times where you just got to walk out of there and be like, I didn't vote for Biden. Like this is your problem. You wanted single sex bathrooms, and now you got to deal with it.
Yeah, or anything just to distract him.
Was it the guy or the girl?
It ended up being the girls.
Oh,
Yeah. Were they going in together too? So then they know that they were talking shit about your shit.
No, he's saying the guy used the other bathroom and the girl came in his.
Right. So I'm saying a lot of times girls will go to the bathroom
yeah.
together. They'll be in the stall. They're all, they're doing their thing. They're chatting. So if you have 2 girls walking into a single bathroom together, which I would say is at least a 50-50 chance, especially if they know each other, then you know that they're in there talking shit about your shit.
Yeah, they were definitely
Like,
talking
is it
about
that guy? Is it that mustache pooper?
I tried turning the lights off in there and everything. I was like, what is going to trigger this sensor? But no, there needs to be the emergency flusher on all those automatic flushers.
Yeah. I thought that came standard.
Yeah, so did I.
I feel like
Googled hacks while I was in there.
Like to get your hotel room colder in a hotel.
But that's like also one of those things where I thought the story was going to be like it was flushing nonstop. Like it couldn't get it to stop flushing. You're getting blowback up your, like it's an unintentional bidet. Because I've had that before where it's like, hey, I wasn't ready for you to flush yet.
Right. As soon as you stand up, I'll take that all day over one that's not flushing.
Did you make a joke about it when you left?
No.
Because that was an option too.
No, because my thing was, again, couldn't see like shit water, and I was just trying not to bring it up as much as possible. I wanted them to maybe think that it was the guy before me, anything, or maybe that it somehow flushed after like the door fully closed. I don't know how that would work, but I was just in hopeless mode.
I think you got to just, from the bathroom where that's happening, you got to call an Uber. Like you got to, like you're out. Your night's over.
Yeah, I won't be hitting on those girls that night.
Yeah.
I think it's just such dog shit etiquette not to flush the toilet though. So they
Yeah.
got a wrong read on you. So I maybe would have made a joke about it.
Like, hey, that toilet's broken and I didn't break it.
I wasn't trying to make friends right after that. I was just trying to let bygones be bygones, and we can both move on with our night. Maybe they.
Pretty sure those girls weren't going to be the one.
Well, maybe they realized through their experiences in the restroom that it was a defective flusher.
You'll take that though over a clog, an overflow.
Oh yeah,
An overflow.
Well, how do you even handle it with the automatic flusher? Say you plunge it and it works. Is it the automatic flusher just automatically?
I just had maybe a genius idea.
Oh, we don't get many of those from you.
I know. It probably doesn't work. We'd have to have a plumber on. But, fountains, like water fountains, like outside of a hotel or whatever, office building. It's not like they're getting inflow of water. Why don't we just have the toilet set to flush constantly? So it's just constantly taking it out and cycling it through. I don't know how it would be a lot of water, but I feel like you could do it.
Some places could definitely use that. Like
it's just
a Home Depot or something. Where
it's always in flush mode.
Yeah. It's like how the Febreze plug-in Glades, they just squirt every couple hours.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I think that's a good idea.
It's not a terrible idea.
I'd have to come up with a water filtration usage system.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could, that could kill 2 birds with one stone. If you're able to separate the waste and recycle that water back into the tank, well, then you're saving water, and you never have a clogged toilet ever again.
And you're not
unless you're like doing some damage.
And you're not getting embarrassed. And
You're not getting embarrassed.
They don't call him Danny Damage for nothing.
Yeah.
Danny Dumps.
Danny Dumps, Danny Damage.
Was that Danny Dumps going in the bathroom? Oh no!
You know what he's doing in there.
No.
He's calling Uber.
Speaking of like heavy meals, you know what? It's kind of perturbed me for a little bit. Obviously, a lot of people shit on deep dish.
Yeah.
Because they say it's heavy, which it is. But I feel like, and I love Detroit style pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really good. I feel like they don't get enough shit for being heavy as well. And some of them are more airy than others, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But by and large, it's a heavy style of pizza, and they don't get the heavy rap like that Chicago deep dish
But
does.
because you can't match the denseness of cheese.
Yeah, that cheese adds another pound, dude.
Sure, but
Lasagna.
Because what's that? Is it Pizza Friendly Pizza, Pizza Happy Pizza on Western that do the Detroit style? Have you ever had it?
no, I've not.
It's like Ukrainian Village. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it is light and fluffy and just a little bit of cheese, and it's delicious. And if you have other Detroit, it's super dense.
Yeah, like if you ever had Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jets is good.
Yeah.
But it's undeniably heavy.
Right. Yeah. But I think I could, if you're eating competition, you have to finish a Jets or 16-inch Jets or a 16-inch Lou's. I think I'm having an easier time with the Jets.
It's almost like if there was a 500-pound guy in the room and a 300-pound guy, everyone's calling out the 500-pound guy.
This guy's fat as fuck. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. But that doesn't mean that the other 300-pounders should get away with it.
Yeah, he's healthy. He's fine.
Yeah.
Someone gave me the frozen Lou's as a Christmas gift. So I had one recently. Those fucking hit, but you can't eat one by yourself. It's not a personal size pizza.
Mm-hmm. So I think, all right, you're probably right. Now, if a deep dish was cold, I think you could. I'm skewing the argument. I know.
Does change it, I think, in your favor.
Yeah, because the problem is the cheese is so stringy, it'd be harder to eat fast.
Yeah,
and I think you would have to ask people from Detroit. Our tourists go in their city, I can't wait to try this Detroit style pizza.
I don't think they do.
And then they're like, oh man, that was heavier than I thought. Yeah.
That is true. I feel like I'm gonna get a New York slice. I'm gonna have a Chicago deep dish. I don't think people are I gotta get a Detroit style in Detroit.
Yeah, what are they known for? Another food?
The Coney dogs, they do like that.
I've never had one of those
in Detroit.
Yeah, or it's like a chili and cheese kind of thing. They're known for those as well.
Maybe it's just because they're a third place style pizza in terms of fame, not in terms of taste, but in fame.
I think people do though. I definitely, when we lived at Greektown Casino for 3 weeks, it was definitely oh nice, we're in Detroit.
Mm-hmm. I wonder at what point does a tourist try deep dish, because you're not going to really do it for lunch. If you have a whole day planned ahead of you, going to Navy Pier, taking a shot of Malort, that's something you might have to end the night with. You're going to want to take a nap after your first time.
I think it depends on your age too. Because I remember when we were tourists from the suburbs, we would go to Uno, Uno and Due, right downtown, to have an authentic Chicago deep dish
for dinner.
Didn't depend on what time of day we were there, but it was on the list of things to do.
It's gonna weigh you down a little, man. You can't be going to a Cubs game after two slices of deep dish.
But that's your tummy talking.
But it's all about how much self-control you have. Because here's my take on deep dish. I think mostly everyone, males, can do 2 slices, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay. It's that third slice that puts you over the edge. You agree or not?
Sure. This is specifically for tourists, though, knowing that they have a day plan, getting beers later. It's just I'd prefer maybe not going in on a full ass stomach deep dish.
The memory that I'm having of doing it when I was a tourist. I was a kid. I was probably 13. So it was you just eat all day. You don't even give a shit.
And that's another thing. Tourist calories, they're not really monitoring. Yeah. They're going all out on that deep dish.
And maybe, but I think you could you're able to gut it more. You're able to.
Well, it could be your first time having it.
Do you ever do different toppings on your deep dish, or are you just all cheese? Because I feel like the toppings don't really work in a deep dish.
Yeah, I don't think they're good.
Yeah.
I don't like topping on deep
The
dish.
same. That's the sausage though. It's like a different monster.
The
Sausage deep
loose
dish.
when it's like baked in the crust.
Yeah.
Or the people get the the flat sausage on there, the sausage patty.
Oh,
Yeah,
You know,
that's at the
yeah.
bottom of the frozen loose. Yeah, I just had it not long
Did you?
ago.
Yeah. Big John says he shits all over the yard when he has that from Geno's East. That's another shame, dude. I'm actually
Geno's
like Geno's
is
East,
good.
but it's like dying.
I think the one in the east side of St. Charles is still
Is it?
popping.
There's like
Yeah.
5 left. I was stunned to see that.
It's endangered species.
And
Yeah.
it's sad. I think their sauce is really good.
Yeah, Geno's is good.
Yeah, and they don't get the love anymore as much.
I think Giordano's kind of ate them.
You think so?
I feel
Well, they
like
got
when
some
I was
like funding and they blew up. I feel.
Giordano's,
Yeah.
I feel like their locations are everywhere.
Yeah.
But I do think that when I was young, Geno's, and maybe it was just a St. Charles thing, but like Geno's East was a bigger deal. And then sometime and towards high school, like we got Giordano's.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think Giordano just came into their space and killed them.
And there's a significant size difference in Lou's and Giordano's.
The
in my
Giordano's
opinion.
pizzas are fucking enormous.
It's a Whopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And things not getting through the door.
Yeah.
We said this before, broken record, but it is crazy how like even nationally the Italian beef hasn't overtaken the slice of deep dish for Chicago.
I think Italian beef is third.
yeah,
Like
Chicago hot
the
dog.
dogs are probably
Popularity, yeah.
A Wrigley dog is a must-get, I would say, if you're visiting.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think that's just standard.
I think it's
They're
my
good.
favorite dog in the city.
They're good. Don't get me wrong. Really?
down
You pick a Wrigley hot dog over any hot dog in the city.
Mm-hmm.
I would
That's
too.
wild.
Those,
I would too.
They're great, and the ones in the right field, like down the right field line in the corner, they have the Vienna grilled dogs. Like they're fucking awesome.
And you're Mr. Plain guy too, so
We differ in here. Like to me, just growing up and going to hot dog stands, like in the city, like it's a steamed dog. Like that's just how you eat them.
Yeah.
You prefer the grill taste more. I understand. I'm not saying you're
Yeah.
right or wrong because they're both good. But to me, like a Chicago style hot dog, like if
It's
you go to
gotta
a
be
real
steamed.
stand, it's got to be steamed.
Yeah.
So that's my.
I would say
Wrigley's good, but I'd
yeah.
be surprised because to me that's not the.
Yeah, I guess, but I and it is probably, I would say maybe 95% of the hot dogs I've ever had in my life have come off a grill.
wow.
Because
Like, I love like
interesting
the
stat.
if it's a backyard. Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what I
yeah,
mean.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is an interesting stat because like
95%.
I think it's
Super
probably
Dogs,
that high. Yeah.
Jude's, like you
I'm
name
probably
it.
We
reverse.
just didn't have places.
You didn't
like
have
that.
places
Yeah.
like St. Charles, which I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably reverse easily.
Yeah.
Probably like more like because summer you do pound a lot of fucking
Yeah.
Oscar
grilled
Myers
dogs.
and
Yeah.
shit. So maybe like more like 85-15,
Yeah.
but
The Wrigley dog too. I feel like I'm always starving when I eat it.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you're drunk.
Dude, and there's
you need
something
some
about
food.
the setting too. Like
Yeah.
there is, like I love that, Chicago Cut, where it's like right on the river, like it's great view of downtown. Like there is something that like your environment adds to the meal, and I do think that holds with a Wrigley dog over.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
dude. Yeah, I mean, you talk about like tourist calories. Okay, the Wrigley dog never counts.
No.
Does not count,
Against-
and you know
against your
what?
threshold.
Bring another one and a bag of peanuts and a couple of beers. Yeah,
And
that's
that does not count against
Peanuts
your
certainly
threshold.
don't count.
No,
the
fuck
peanuts. Like I have to like come up for air, and it's because my mouth is so dry from the. And I could feel it like in my fingers too from like cracking the shells.
He's got a battlefield of shells at your ankles.
Dude, I had a game last year where I almost I have to stay away from Wrigley for a little while. I had a paper cut on my index finger, and but I wasn't going to stop eating the peanuts. So just like grinding through that bag, or it's just like literally salt in the wound for 6-7 innings. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't go to a game the rest because I can't. If I go to a game, I'm having peanuts.
I feel bad for peanuts, man.
Why?
I don't know. They're just that player that is good and like deserves more, but just has like a nagging injury history that you got to worry about, and that's the shells. Like there's no reason why we shouldn't be hammering peanuts right now. They're great,
They are great.
but you only eat them in a setting where you could be a slob.
But you guys make fun of me for it. But when we stop at Quick Trip or all these different places on our little road trips, you guys are getting different snacks. I'm almost always getting peanuts, like a bag of Planters
but
peanuts.
it's different. Like I like those.
Pistachios are like the rich stepfather that came in and overtook
I've always said
peanuts.
it's built-in portion control. for pistachio because you get like annoyed with having to open them.
Oh my god! I have a bag at home, and I'm like, well, this one there's a half a millimeter slit.
Okay,
that's not
do you
getting
know?
Open.
Do you know the trick?
Huh?
You don't know the trick.
Bite it? I don't know.
No, never bite it. You take one of the other shells and just use that as a wedge to pry it open. It works so easily.
But you
every
still
time.
like need to have nails to do that.
No,
I'll
all you do
try
is
it.
just wet. I wish I had
Really?
a bag of pistachios right now.
That's one of the one times I could feel elite. Is when I could just throw a nut and be like, that's not worth my nail. So
Dude,
I'm not going to use your trick.
But like, this is one of those things. Like, this is what separates me from a gorilla. Like, I know how to use tools. And I'm going to get that pistachio out of there. Gorilla go hungry. I'm eating.
Gorilla's eating the shell.
Yeah, probably just chomping it.
They ain't even peeling their bananas.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, you're right. Like peanuts is not. It's not getting that household attention that it should.
But I think nuts are still pretty strong. Like people are eating walnuts, pecans. It's supposed to be healthy.
Could you imagine the the nut intake that would be like increased if you could do that?
All those fucking kids with their peanut allergies. That's what's killing peanuts more than anything.
Yeah, you're right.
And peanuts, man, they really only work if you have a place like a ball game where you can just throw the shells on the ground.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
that's the issue.
There's so much other like loose, like straw and shit.
That's why I love the Lodge.
Yeah,
the Lodge is great for that. Portnoy reviewed Nick's on Randall Road when he was going up to Madison. Nick's is like, I've only been there one time. It's pretty good, like Chicago style pizza. It's fine, but like that's a peanuts on the ground place. Like that's the appeal. Is like you just go in there and just chuck your peanuts on the ground.
You think all those places like tried not making it on the ground at first? Like it's inevitable. The shells are gonna get everywhere. let's just turn into a peanuts on the ground place.
The cleanup guy at the end of the shift.
Oh, they gotta have two.
Terrible.
Yeah. Damn circus.
Like a shop vac.
Yeah.
Me and Danny went to the Lodge after a smoke out and we were just pounding peanuts. It was great.
It's great.
So hungry.
It's a great
too.
spot.
Yeah,
Did they open up the speakeasy in the back for you?
They had before, but not that time.
They had me sign it.
That's
like,
awesome.
They love us back there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's a good group.
It took we had all these English guys in for a Nottingham Forest like party, and I felt like sort of obligated to like show these people a good time because they really took care of me when I went to England. And Lodge was at like near the top of my list of places to go.
We talked about it too, and I think I think that's a good. Like we talked about.
Yeah,
right?
maybe. Yeah,
I
I
told you I was like, yeah, I think the
Lodge was
a good spot.
It was nice, and that's kind of like because you're not in Old Town, but you could walk to Old Town from there. And there's like a good stretch of little bars right around the Lodge too. Lodge is a great spot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's not too touristy. For some reason, it's like it's so small, but it's never that like you don't feel elbow to elbow.
No,
I feel like
it's like the other ones in that area, like Butch McGuire's gets a little crazy, and what's the upstairs, the one right next to the
Mothers,
Shenanigans. Shenanigans. There's one other one that I'm thinking of that.
A Hopsmith.
A Hopsmith. That's what I think of as like North Shore kids go to Hopsmith.
Yeah, there's a lot of North Shore kids around there. A bunch of like friends who went to like Lowell are always just hanging around there.
Hang out there.
Cake eaters.
Yeah.
He said
nothing against Hopsmith, but
or cake.
But your clientele sometimes is cake
You
eaters.
bring up a good point though, like you said before, and I actually got into this argument this weekend. It wasn't really an argument; it was just like a stating of facts. Because I tried Rosemary for the first time, Joe Flam's place. He's been on the show a couple times.
Yeah.
So we went on a Sunday, but I guess and my other friend was like, "Oh, I like going. Like if we're going to dinner, I like to go." Like on a Friday or Saturday, because you're more like, at least my group, like we go out on the weekend, like we're not really day drinking that, like week drinking that much, but like I'd like to have a few more drinks on the weekend. But I'm like, yeah, but then the problem with going to dinner on Friday and Saturday is if you want to go out after, you're like fucked. You got a brick in your stomach.
I guess for me, like the big meal is the go out experience, and that's more than enough.
Yeah,
you have a few drinks at the table and.
True, but then it's always nice to go to a bar after for a few, and then sometimes you're like fucking, you feel like shit because you just ate, and you're like, I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, what would you do? The Friday Saturday experience comes with a couple cocktails. Try out the whole like the cocktail menu, but like you'll probably be too full to go for a nightcap or like to do the after effect, or just like really get the full experience of the meal and not have to worry about.
So like. You got to go out, or can you just double up the drinks at dinner?
Yeah, see, I prefer that.
Just double up the drinks at dinner, but like you just
like
to go out though.
I don't love bar hopping in general. So like I would be, if it's a good group, let's have like a big round table. Was it a group or are you going out like
Group.
a small?
There's 6 of us.
Okay. That to me is like, that's a dinner party.
Yeah.
And like you go out, you kind of, you split all the appetizers around and you just tie one on. And you sit, I don't care if that meal takes 4 hours. I kind of prefer that rather than be like, let's run across the street for the sake of it. Like, we're having a good time here. We're comfortable here. Let's stay.
Yeah. And I guess what I like to change the scene to just like a more relaxed, like you're getting out of there. Like, I don't know, free up a table. Like there's something to that too.
Mm-hmm. There is.
Where
the free up a table thing to the restaurant, I think is probably good.
You want to sit there just drinking the espresso.
I think Thursday would be my night to do that.
To do the big dinner?
Yeah. Oh, and then have places to go after to bar hop. But hard coordinating with other schedules. But I think that's the move. I think that's a Sunday, a late night Sunday dinner with the boys.
I like that idea. Though.
I feel like it's too depressing almost.
Why?
Monday's right around the corner. You're monitoring, you're drinking a little more than you would be.
I like the idea of doing a Sunday dinner with the boys when football season's over.
I've probably done that like 80% of Sundays since college.
Really?
Yeah, like 4 of us or so.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Together. It's great.
But do that like once a month.
Yeah, but it's hard with like football season. Like
it's impossible during football season. Yeah.
What drink are you ordering with a meal?
I usually like kind of browse theirs if I panic. It's like, to see what they got like special. If I panic, I'll obviously get an old fashioned. I will say like Hog Salt and like, the Bavettes and the Old Town Ale houses of the city have an unreal penicillin.
Oh
yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. What's in that again? Isn't that like
it's like lemon, like honey and like something else.
So that sounds almost like my Gold Rush.
It's let me
so a Gold Rush is whiskey, lemon, and honey. And that's like the first one I ever had was at Trivoli Tavern actually.
Oh.
The penicillin?
No, the Gold Rush.
Sorry.
Because I had never heard of it, and then it was on the menu, and then I think we did like a cocktail draft like not long after that, and I took it because it's become like my drink of choice.
So this is Scotch, ginger, and lemon. So
ginger,
kind of similar.
I don't love ginger in general, but that is like they say.
Oh, honey ginger syrup. So yeah, it's kind of similar. I don't know what the big difference in a penicillin and a.
Maybe there's a difference between whiskey and Scotch that a real drinker would know. And I'm just like, I got a scumbag palate, so
not us. Yeah. I feel you. I don't know. It's a good question.
I haven't gone out for a big dinner in a while.
No.
Okay, probably got some boxes to check.
I mean, there's so many places here.
I know.
It's insane.
A penicillin.
Try it out if you go to Hog Salt.
I went to
any Hog Salt restaurant.
Yeah, I did go to a Toco last weekend. But that was kind of spur of the moment. That place, have you been there?
No.
It's like, you've been to Momotaro?
No.
I have,
I heard good things though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Momotaro is awesome. And this is the same chef open up a place on Southport. Like, I don't know. It's very, very good. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Rosemary's great, obviously.
Yeah.
And then my second other thing I wrote down here was does anybody know how to dispose of batteries? Does anybody else like how to like?
I could ask my brother-in-law. Works for a pretty big battery company.
Does he?
Yeah.
Like, how are you supposed to do that?
I got a hard enough time recycling.
Yeah, I don't. And then I looked it up. It's like technically, California is the only place where you like have to worry about that. Yeah, but it still is always like don't like. It says
I know you weren't supposed to throw them away, but then like,
do you know why? You probably know why. Why?
Why would I know why?
You're smarter than I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I know things.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know that one. I'm sure it's horrible for the environment, for the soil.
I'm sure a lot of people don't even realize either that you're supposed to dispose them. I mean, what are you gonna do? Put them in a plastic bag, leave them on your counter for 6 months?
This is like one of the garbage. This is one of those things where it's like, oh, it's bad for your health. It's bad for the planet. And it's like, sure, but you know what? The number one thing is bad for your health is probably just eating sugar. And it's like maybe I should just not worry about how I'm disposing of a battery until I cut sugar out of my diet, So
baby steps.
Yeah, but then you could argue that only affects you versus
someone else.
If a battery's in a,
shows up as mercury in my fish the next time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Turtles eating that battery.
Yeah. Like the Simpsons were.
And then
three-eyed fish, Blinky.
Yeah, exactly.
Or what other things are you supposed to dispose of in a certain way? Is it like paint or something?
Grease.
So that's for your pipes.
Yeah.
Grease is a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It stops me from like making bacon half the time. Like,
Now-
I don't want to deal with this fucking grease. After.
Now, is that all the time or just like some of the time that could happen?
With bacon grease?
Yeah.
So, no, it's all the time.
Really?
But
Okay.
like it's one of those things that's like pretty easy fix. So you're not gonna like be like, oh, you're gonna fuck up. You might clog your pipe, and it might, but depending on what kind of pipes you have in your sink. Because I had an issue with this. Or I had coconut oil. Actually, I put like a glob. I can't remember what I was making, but I just poured it down the sink, thinking it would not be that big of a deal. It was a big deal.
Ooh.
And it like completely clogged, and like the drain under, the pipes underneath my sink like burst. But it wasn't like I fixed it myself. Me and YouTube fixed it. It was not like that big of a problem. And then you look it up, because then I was like, oh, what if this happens like with bacon grease? And they're like, well, you can really just use dish soap, break soap grease, hot water, run it, plunge it. You should be fine.
Oh, okay.
So like it's, don't take my advice, look it up yourself. But it's like, it's not the end of the world if your pipes clog.
See, this is why he asked you if you knew about battery recycling.
When you got to the YouTube video, how long did it take for them to get to the point?
That it was a little bit of an intro. I'd say that the relevant material in that video was probably like 45 seconds in and lasted about 30 seconds.
Well, that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes we get those 10-minuters. So
Yeah.
It's like, I just need.
show me how to change the little fucking headlight on this car.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll tell you like what you can use coconut oil for before just telling you how to
Yeah.
get it out of your sink.
Yeah.
Here's you could buy it. Here's what shelf it's going to be on. Here's what price it'll be at this store.
Lady, I didn't ask how to buy coconut oil. I asked how to get it
Yeah.
out of my sink.
Yeah, it's a lot of variables.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna start ripping off other how-tos videos. I'm just gonna find out how to do it, make my own video where I just cut to
You're
the
like,
chase.
you're
It's
like the
30
Mr.
seconds.
Skin of
Yeah.
how-to
Yeah, right.
videos.
Yeah, you don't need all these free promos at the beginning. Them
Don't watch
shouting
the
out
movie.
their Facebook.
Here's
yeah.
where her tits are.
You're not going to make any scratch on it though, man.
It's for the people. I don't need the scratch.
It'll be low, no profits, low to no.
I'll monetize that shit.
You just duet them on TikTok. Be like,
Yeah.
all right, here's this guy's taking way too much time. Here's how you actually fix your car.
Yeah, I'll put a record scratch there.
Yeah.
This guy's talking too much.
You just put like the text, like step 1 this, step 2 that, and then you're done.
Yeah.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Not at all. They're freaking out about the coconut oil clogging up their sink the whole time. They don't want to be listening to him
Yeah.
promoting his new mixtape, whatever it could be,
Mhm.
his other business.
I had an Uber driver maybe 2 or 3 months ago who was like, hey man, like I can't remember his name. I wouldn't say it anyways. But he had a QR code which took him to like whatever his YouTube, but he was a rapper. And he's like, pick out anything. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, just say a word. I'm like, what, like it's I Spy? He goes, yeah, I Spy. And I'm like, mailbox. And he did like a 4-minute freestyle about my name and mailboxes. And it was terrible. And it was probably the worst Uber experience of my life, because it's like, I don't even want to talk to you, but I'm being like serenaded with a guy, like a guy who's trying to make it as a rapper. Like part of me is like, hey, like good hustle, like you never know. But it's like, man, like that felt like a fucking torture chamber.
Yeah, I had a talkative one the other week. I was Ubering to Nick Trainey's to sleep over, and out of nowhere she was just like, pretty smooth ride, right? And I was like, yeah.
5 stars.
And she's like, yep, everyone says that. I'm like, well, do you ask everyone like that? Or they're obviously going to be like, yes. And she just kept going off about how many miles she had, how well she takes care of her cars, gave me the history of her past 3 cars. I was like, dude, give me this fucking sleepover.
How was the sleepover?
It was good.
Yeah.
And Nick apparently started a rumor on the Yak that I cried. I didn't cry. He made it very believable, though. We just played board games the whole time, some video games.
Just you and him?
No, Mook, Rudy.
Oh, a whole crew.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Old school sleepovers
Yeah.
are the best.
Yeah.
I haven't had a sleepover.
We tried prank calling both of you guys, actually.
Really?
And neither of you answered. And
Who
we
was calling me?
didn't even start 6-7. We just did like, oh, Mook, you don't have Chief's number. Just call him. He's not going to pick up if it's private. And I
Yeah.
think someone
What
else
night was
called
that?
Last Thursday.
I didn't get a call.
Maybe we didn't call you then, but we went 0 for like 12.
Really?
Yeah.
Prank calls.
Was it cold? That's Friday.
Oh, it might have been in the morning. Like, what time was it? Past midnight?
Yeah. Well, that was at 3:15. So you said it was Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did have one. It is a Philly call.
Yeah.
That was him. Yeah.
We
But
were
that
gonna
was,
get your ass.
yeah. Well, that's a dangerous game, you fellas.
That's the best part. That was a great part.
No, but if you're, let's say you're in bed with a significant other and you get a name coming through your, random phone number calling you late night, that's not a great look.
Hey, as long as you have nothing to worry about, you have nothing
I
to
didn't
worry
have
about.
anything to worry about, but
we were just going to tell you that the company is getting new laptops when you wanted to know how big you wanted your screen. And then it was going to force you to be like, how big is a screen normally?
I was going to pick
whatever you said, we were going to be like, are you sure you want it that big?
that was the whole play?
Yeah. We were going to take it from there.
Yeah, all right. Like, let's call Chief and ask him how big he wants his new computer to be.
And then we were
That'd
like,
be hilarious.
We were like, do you want the standard size keyboard or the new one? And then it was going to force you to be like, well, what's like the new one? And we were just going to put you in a mental pretzel while you're trying to go to bed.
I could have got out of that one.
No, you wouldn't have.
I don't know. With technology, dude.
If you thought we were going to say we were someone, from Barstool on the tech side and be like, hey, Ryan, sorry for a late call. It's got this last minute. What screen size do you want your new laptop to be? And then you wouldn't. What's the normal screen size?
I'd just be like, I don't need a new one.
Like, well, we kind of have to give the company all new ones. We need to champ them.
Champ. You're using that Hewlett Packard forever.
I don't think
you would have you would have been hook, line, and sinker for that.
No, I would. But I think that fits more my argument. That because you're asking me computer shit, just whatever it is, it's fine.
True. Fair.
Yeah.
All right then.
I'm like, I hear Danny giggling in the background. I know it's you fucking assholes.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Really fun interview tomorrow with PFT. Enjoyed having him on. Talked for a little over an hour, just bullshitting about his career, and it's wild. We get into the companies passed on him and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
super
I'm intrigued.
interesting.
Does he name names?
Yeah, he names names. He gets into it. He gets into the nitty gritty a little bit.
Okay.
And just other fun shit too. So tune into that, and yeah, that's it, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.